was mommy by her very dearly loved children. Now, in our time of grief, one thing we must remember is the goodness of God. As difficult as it sounds, we remember his faithfulness in sending to us a woman who was gifted in diverse ways. We remember tonight as we sing, as we speak, as we remember, as we share, her smile that could light up a room. We remember the ring of her laughter, which a number of people testify about. The fact that you could hear it from afar and how welcoming it was. We remember her hospitality, a woman who was open and who never had a shut door, always with people around, who acquired not just her own friends, but the friends of her husband and even the friends of her children. She opened up her heart, she opened up her home to diverse people. And so we thank God for that tonight, that such a woman lived. And so as I invite to sing in the next few minutes, Goodness of God, would like you to remember that truly only a good God could have made a good woman such as Chizoba Wigwe. Can we please make welcome Esther Benyogo to sing Goodness of God. Thank you very much, Esther Benyogo. And indeed, as a family, as a people, we deliberately, intentionally sing of the goodness of God even at this difficult time. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, family members here, Chizoba Wigwe was many things. As I mentioned earlier on, she was entrepreneurial, she was a sister, she was a friend, but very importantly, she was a devoted wife and mother. She was a proud mother to Chizi Wigwe, to Tochi Wigwe, to David Wigwe, to Hannah Wigwe, and Ukachi Wigwe. And so for the next Bible reading, I'd like to please invite on stage Tochi Wigwe to read the next Bible passage. A round of applause, please. Can we encourage her as she comes on stage?
Good evening, everyone. I'll be reading 2 Corinthians 1, 3-4. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort those who are in any trouble, with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Clapping until she takes her seat. Thank you very much, Tochi, for demonstrating such great strength at this time. I'm sure I speak on behalf of everyone here that we're incredibly proud of you. Thank you. Next, we're going to have the choir lead us in the hymn, How Great Thou Art.
Shall we all rise and sing this hymn? Thank you.
Thank you very much. May please be seated. And thank you, Light Hill Choir. I think it's important to mention at this point, as I said earlier, that not only did Chizoba have her own friends, but she was quickly able to convert her husband's friends to her own. Such was the nature of her person. And the conductor of this choir served as her husband, Herbert Wigwe's PA. And so in the same way she adopted his family, his friends, including his colleagues, such that they soon joined her own network. So this is deeply personal, not just for the choir, but for the music conductor as well. Thank you, Shola Falaye. And now we're going to open up for some tributes. I'm sure if you pass the microphone to everyone in this room, we all have our personal memories and encounters with Chizoba. But only a few people will have the opportunity to come on stage to speak. And in respect of that, I'd like to please encourage all speakers to kindly stick to the allocated time for them, which is 3 minutes. This will enable us listen to as many people as possible and move the program quite quickly, because we do understand how heavy the last few days have been. And so as we share our memories, we have different people from all walks of life and people who knew her in different capacity come to speak to us in the next few minutes. And as they speak from their own experiences, I hope you also, in your private moments, remember just how wonderful Chizoba was to you. So the first person to speak this evening is Kokoma. Can we please make very welcome Kokoma on stage?
Good evening, everybody. I stand on existing protocols. I know none have been made, but I'm here to greet everybody. Thanks for introducing me, by the way, and I think most people know me as Stella, but for purposes of this, I think Kokoma is okay, because that's what Chizoba called me. I am Stella Aracia, a.k.a. Herbert's youngest sister. One of the reasons I stand here to talk about Chizoba might be because of my relationship with Chizoba. Chizoba was my friend. She was my sister. First of all, I must say that part of the reason I'm standing here to talk about Chizoba is maybe because I'm Herbert's youngest sister, and if you're quite conversant with the role of the youngest sister, you would always be given responsibilities that you do not want to discharge. And this is one of the responsibilities I really do not want to discharge. I wish I could delegate this to somebody, but you know what? I'll take it as an honor to be able to speak about Chizoba. I think my parents were blessed with 3 beautiful daughters. My sister, Dr. Joyce, Peggy, I have Dupe, and I had a wonderful sister in Chizoba. Chizoba was my sister-in-law, but you know what happened along the way? The in-law fell off. Chizoba was my sister-in-law. Thank you. Chizoba loved us. She loved me. I could testify to that. There's so much I can tell you about Chizoba, but for those of us who honestly knew Chizoba, you knew that, like Herbert, she meant different things to different people. I don't come to Nigeria very often, and I'm hoping that changes, but the last time I was here, Chizoba made sure she took me out and made sure I enjoyed my stay. Now, I left Canada in a hurry, and I came here without anything to wear, and she looked at me and said to me, "No, Ma, we have to sort you out." We spent nothing less than 10 hours going from shop to shop. We went to the highbrow areas, and we went to the not-so-highbrow areas. The good thing about Chizoba that I'm sure Alex and Paulina can actually identify with is that Chizoba could roll up her sleeves and she could find herself anywhere, and she could adapt to anything that came her way. In her elegance, she was fantastic. In her elegance, Chizoba was meek. I've read several things talking about Chizoba, telling me about everything she was, and sometimes I say to myself, you mean Chizoba was all this? Chizoba was just Chizoba to me. She would call me at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. Nigerian time, and I'm wondering, I said, Chizoba, what exactly are you doing up? And she says to me, I just need to talk to you. Now, of course, to perforate the sternness of her husband, you would usually need to access her, but through Chizoba, she made herself accessible. She was someone who understood everything somehow. She understood what you told her, and she tried as much as possible to help. I mean, for those of us that were here yesterday, we listened to Tunji's tribute. Even in Chizoba's absence, you can see how she could relate to someone who was an escort, and she was able to elevate Tunji. Chizoba was fantastic. To say my heart is shattered is really having to put it mildly. My heart is broken. My parents' hearts are broken. My siblings, Dr. Joyce, Peggy, Emeka, Chineye, our hearts are all broken. But I'm going to rest, and I'll just hold on to the fact that what she showed was love. And I'm hopeful that with every one of us here, I know, I'm not going to hope anymore, I know a piece of Chizoba is left with all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kokoma, also known as Stella, Herbert Wigwe's sister, and of course now Chizoba's sister as well, having crossed the line from being just in-laws to being actual sisters. So many wonderful things, but when you talked about the fact that she was down to earth, and also the fact that she could be elegant and be stately, and still in the same vein, legend has it that she was also known to visit Mile 12 on some occasions for some personal shopping. So she could function in different ways without losing herself. What a woman. And to bring us the next tribute is a sister as well, a woman who'd gone from being just a friend, a close family friend, and then becoming family in the true sense of the word with the Wigwe family. Please, can we make welcome Mrs. Ofowe Aig Imokwede.
Good evening, everyone. I first met Chizoba almost 30 years ago when Herbert brought her to meet Aigbeje and I as the woman he was going to marry. We were naturally thrown together as wives of best friends, and I quickly found in Chizoba a warm and dependable friend and sister who could be counted on for everything. Those of us who know that Chizoba was an enterprising businesswoman. It was through her that I became so familiar with Balogun Market and that I can navigate it with such confidence that people are shocked. Back in the day, I would go and sit with her in her shops. She had multiple shops in Balogun, and marvel at the hundreds of customers that will come from all over the country to buy goods from her for resale in their own boutiques. She even tried to convert me into a shop owner myself. She helped me to rent a shop in a prime location in Balogun just after I left Citibank, but unfortunately her influence didn't rub off on me on that occasion. Her enterprising nature came in so handy when we were both stuck in the UK during COVID. Chizoba would regularly do drive-by stops in my house, her car loaded with food and toilet paper when the shelves of the shops were bare. That was who she was. Wherever she was, she knew all the shops hidden in the nooks and crannies. She was a very present and loving mother who was so proud of her children and spent so much time with them. I was particularly in awe of her relationship with Chizzy, because whenever we were together, Chizzy would call her 3 times, 4 times, "Mommy, where are you? What are you doing?" They were so, so close. And I know that all the young people loved her. She could often be found laughing her infectious laugh in the midst of Chizzy's friends, Tochi's friends. And I know that if anyone is going to miss her, it will be them. When you were Chizoba's person, she would do anything for you, anything. I remember when my son Zoje returned to Nigeria for his youth corps and I wasn't able to be around, I confidently handed him over to Chizoba, who went to extraordinary lengths to settle him in. She drove him to camp. She went to camp with him multiple times. She helped him sort his uniform, his furniture, his apartment. She basically did everything that I would have done and even more, because I don't know how many times I would have gone to camp with him. I will miss Chizoba so, so much. She was my gist partner during our numerous family trips and events, and she was the one person who understood. You know, when our husbands would go off for 12 hours, 14 hours, just working, Chizoba and I would grumble, but we supported them so much, and at least I had that person who knew exactly what my life was like. So I really don't know what I'm going to do without her, my go-to person who always knew where I could find anything